starting. Sorry, guys.
What were you doing down there?
Nothing. Stop. Hey, welcome to the Flix Capacitor podcast, where two guys who met on TikTok talk about movies. Hosted by myself, Parker McNerney, and
Broen McCloskey.
AKA
I'm single. Broen the movie maker.
AKA he's single, baby. Ready to mingle. Ready to dry hump a storm, huh?
Yep.
All right. I'm sorry. That's probably not going to make it in the episode. Well, you know, we always say that, and then it ends up in the episode. So
And then it does.
This is going to get taken down. So this episode, we thought we would talk. Wait. Oh yeah. This episode, we thought we would talk about. It was Broen's idea. We thought we would talk about reboots or remakes, if you will, that hold a candle to the original.
Basically, reboots that are better or at least live up to the original.
Yeah.
So some on this list are movies that we think are better, and some are movies that we think at least live up, that aren't necessarily better, but it's like, okay, that was a good reboot. Yeah. Like, that was definitely a necessary reboot.
Ooh, we should do an episode where, like, they did not live up to the original. We should do, like, that kind of episode.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot
there
more
are plenty
there.
of those.
Yeah. And we're not, flat out there, we're not counting comic book movies. We are not doing comic book movies.
Right. Because those get rebooted every
other year. Okay, do you have any movie news?
I do have movie news. Okay, so if you guys listened to the last episode, you know that I am a huge fan of the Alien franchise, because that was I made Parker watch Aliens. And for those of you that don't know, Fede Alvarez, who is the director of the Evil Dead reboot and Don't Breathe, which is a fantastic movie, he was brought on to write and direct his own Alien movie, kind of in the same vein as Prey. So first of all, it's Disney, because Disney owns 20th Century Fox now. But It's going to be a Hulu original. So it's not going to be in theaters. It's not going to be in theaters, unfortunately, but it's going to be straight to Hulu. But it's going to be in the same vein as Prey, where it doesn't really have anything to do with the other movies, and it's kind of just its own thing. What?
The Evil Dead Rise was supposed to be straight to streaming, and now it's getting a theatrical release. So give it time. You never know.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised, because Prey was amazing.
And it did.
Yeah, I know you haven't.
Well, it did
very well.
People liked it a lot.
Very well. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to put it in theaters, even for like a little bit, because I know they do that with some Netflix releases, that they'll put it in theaters like a week before.
Glass Onion this week. The Knives Out too.
Glass Onion. Yep.
Is that director doing the Evil Dead Rise? Do we know?
I will double check real quick. I don't know.
Cool. It's okay. Well, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, but so we got news earlier this week. Kaylee Spaney, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is the lead. That's all we know for casting. If you don't know who she is, honestly, the only thing that I've seen her in is Pacific Rim Uprising. She was the main girl in that. She played the character Amara, if you even care or remember anything from that movie.
I've only seen the first one.
This sequel sucks.
I believe it.
But all that matters is that the Alien franchise has a female lead, because it should always have a female lead.
Is it a reboot?
No, like I was saying, it's kind of in the same vein as Prey, where it's not necessarily a reboot, but it doesn't really have any ties to the originals. It's just its own thing.
It's just there, but it's still connected-ish.
Yeah. So it's not going to continue. It's not going to continue the Ridley Scott prequel series, with Prometheus and Alien Covenant. Personally, I'm okay with that. I really don't care for those movies a whole lot. I think Prometheus is better than Alien Covenant, but I still think Prometheus kind of boring. It's pretty good, but kind of boring. And there is a working title for the movie, which I don't know is 100% confirmed. And I don't know if it's going to stick. but the working title is Alien Romulus. I don't know what that means. It could be anything. But then again, they could change it because Prey's working title was actually Skulls.
Prey's a better title, I think.
SK. Oh, Prey's a much better title. So I think that is all the movie news that I have, is just an update on that Alien movie. So I'm very excited. I hope it's simple. I really don't. The Alien franchise is not something that you need to like totally overexpand. Mm-hmm. Keep it simple. Aliens killing each other, or aliens killing people. Aliens bursting out of people's chests. Keep it simple. Don't go into stuff that they've been going into lately and making it almost like biblical.
Yeah.
I'm over it. Just keep it simple. I just need to see alien inner jaws, poking people's eyes out.
Yeah.
And I need to see aliens bursting through people's chests.
Yeah. I have a question for you. Because I think you and I are more open than most about reboots and remakes, to be honest. Even though you and I are like, it's not necessary, I feel like you and I would always be at least open to watching a reboot. Unless it's something crucial like Back to the Future. I would never support that remake.
Honestly, no. The only reboots I like actively avoid are the Disney live action reboots.
Yeah.
But
we're not mad about those.
For that.
Yeah, we're not mad about those. Right? We just don't really care.
I just don't care. Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that later. But if they remade Alien, would you be excited? Or would you be against
curious.
it? Curious. Okay.
I would be curious on. Okay, first of all, just why would you reboot it? Because it's such a straightforward story.
Yeah.
You might as well just say it's a sequel. I'm just saying, like.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of rebooting it? Like, what? Because the special effects are different. It's like, just I don't know. I wouldn't care. I would still watch it. No matter what, I'm gonna watch it, and then if I like it, great. If I don't like it, I'm gonna forget about it.
Of course. Interesting. Well, yeah. I really actually like seeing remakes of older movies because it's cool to see older movies that I like but done now. You know what I mean? Like, I think Star Wars movies coming out now is cool. Because you get to see all the stuff you love that was done, I mean, practically for the most part now digitally, and it looks, I mean, better. You know what I mean? So I think it's cool.
And honestly, that was one of my favorite parts about watching The Force Awakens in the theater, was seeing how detailed the Falcon was.
Yeah.
And seeing the Falcon do all these maneuvers that you couldn't really see it do in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
That, just seeing that made me cry in the theater. I was like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah. Okay. I have one movie news. Nothing too crazy, but Black Panther: Wakanda Forever has made $331 million everywhere, which is great. And
well deserved.
The Rock was, he was a great sport about it. He was like, speaking of getting demolished, Black Panther is just crushing Black Adam right now. And I love everyone that's like, oh yeah, Black Panther is just so much more money than Black Adam. I'm like, yeah, are you surprised that an MCU project is making a ton of money? Especially considering, which I don't love, but kind of considering that they used Chadwick Boseman's death to market the movie. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think it's better than just pretending like nothing happened.
Of course.
But
yeah, like everyone's like, oh, see, better than Black Adam. I was like, yeah, even if it wasn't. Like, Black Widow made more money than Black Adam, and that movie blows. It says,
honestly.
So yeah, that's my only movie news. Good for Disney for, finally making some money, and I'm glad.
Good. Congratulations, Ryan Coogler.
Oh yeah, a lot of people want him to do Secret Wars, I think, but I don't know. That's a big scale movie. That's a big.
I don't want. Yeah. That's too not that I don't think he could handle it. I just think his prime is doing down to earth, grounded stories.
Because it would be only his fifth movie, right? He's done Creed, Black Panther 2, and then
Black Panther 2, and then he did another movie with Michael B. Jordan.
I think that's it.
I don't remember.
Right?
I'm honestly not sure.
I think that's that's maybe one more. But yeah, I wouldn't be upset if they asked him to do it, but I think it's a big jump from what he normally does, Yeah. Because that's not going to be a character-heavy movie. in terms of
No.
character work.
But the Shang-Chi director is directing the Kang Dynasty.
That's right.
But Shang-Chi was a very big scaled movie,
Yeah.
so I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I'm excited for Ant-Man 3, to be honest. I'm really excited. I like what's his name as Kang, I think.
Oh yeah.
So all right.
Yeah.
You ready? You ready to get into it?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. We'll go back and forth. So we'll say the last one together. So you wanna
Wait, do we want to do honorable mentions before we get into because we have 5.
We do.
We have 5 on the list. So we have some honorable mentions.
So I wanted to talk about Invasion of the Body Snatchers, because the Donald Sutherland version is pretty good. Not as good as the original.
I haven't seen either, so I'm gonna let Parker take this.
Yeah, that's why we're not talking about it, is because he hasn't seen them, and I don't think Broen would have nothing to say. But yeah, like I think it's I wouldn't say as good, but I think it works as a remake really well. And then I love Jeff Goldblum. And did you write down the honorable mentions?
I have an honorable mention. I have a couple.
Go.
Okay, so one of them is The Fly.
Mm-hmm.
David Cronenberg's The Fly is better than The Fly from the 50s, because it's a reboot that was 100% necessary, because it wasn't just a copy paste of the original. Mm-hmm. Because the original is still really good.
Yeah,
really fucking. It
is really good,
but it is so different. Oh, you've seen the original?
I have seen the original.
Oh, okay. You just haven't seen the Jeff Goldblum, David Cronenberg one. Okay,
I'll get there soon.
Okay, so you know that the original is basically the aftermath, and the story is told through flashbacks.
Oh yes, yeah.
Because remember, the detectives are talking to the wife about it, yeah. And it's and in the movie, when he makes the teleportation device, as soon as he comes out, he's half fly, with the fly head and the fly hand. But in the David Cronenberg one, first of all, he's not married. He doesn't have a kid. He's on his own, and he has an editor come in or a reporter come in to basically tell the story of him creating the telepod. That's what they're called, telepods. And when he first comes out of the telepod, after the fly had flown in there with him, he's perfectly fine. But throughout the movie, he gets worse and worse and worse, turning into this gross, grotesque fly monster. And it's not just a fly head and a fly hand. It's fucking disgusting.
That's awesome.
But it's so good.
Did they do the?
So I would say
the help me. Did they do that?
They did.
Really?
They did, but it wasn't like high pitched. It was like a help me, please help me, and it's like, oh god, that's so.
That's really funny.
It's creepy because low key, the reboot is kind of a romance.
I think you said that. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, like not totally. Like I would say it's more like drama, horror drama, and then the original one is like a mystery almost.
I'll get there. I'm gonna get to it
because you want to know. Yeah.
I had an honorable mention, The Evil Dead. Broen, you haven't seen either of them, right?
Any?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of the Evil Deads.
We'll talk about that.
I need to get on that shit. I will get on that shit. I know I need to.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. Maybe not for that one, but at some point we want to do like live public watches with. I mean, it'd be like if we have a big enough audience, that'd be cool. Evil Dead, and I also had an honorable mention before your last one, The Invisible Man, which you've seen the remake, but not the original, right?
Right.
Got it.
Right.
Remake is great. I don't remember much of the original, but the remake is fucking awesome.
I did love the remake.
Awesome.
I thought it was great.
That was the last movie I saw in theaters before COVID hit. I saw it like a week before COVID hit.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
All right. What's your last honorable mention?
Dune, which just came out last year. The original one is, a lot of people love it, but I'm not one of those. I don't think the original is very good. It's not even the director likes it. Yeah, I think it's trying too hard to be Star Wars, but we wouldn't have Star Wars without Dune.
Well, I was gonna say that's what's funny about it is Star Wars is somewhat trying to be Dune, and now
exactly. And then the Dune movie is it's like the original Star Wars is like trying to do its own take on Dune, and then the Dune movie is trying to be like Star Wars.
That's funny.
But the Dune reboot, directed by Denis Villeneuve,
Is that how you say his name?
fucking, I'm pretty sure.
I'd never guess. I mean, I never tried. I just knew I could pronounce it.
I'm fairly certain that's how you pronounce his name. That movie's fucking phenomenal. It's only the first half of the book, and so a lot of people didn't like it because it was slow, which it is. But the whole point of the movie is like it's building, it's world building.
That's what I assumed,
and it's fantastic
because
and it's so
looked,
good.
You know, I heard it was slow, and it looked slow, but not in the boring sense, just in the it looks like there's a lot to build on, you know. And I started the book, I didn't finish it, I got bored, which is funny.
The book is a lot. I haven't even read the whole thing. The book it drags. But I've heard it's phenomenal, but it's not for everyone.
I started it. I might finish it at some point, but not my favorite.
But they're saying that part 2 is going to have it's going to be like all action.
I don't like Timothée Chalamet very much, so I'm not sure how much I'll like it.
Timothée Chalamet perfect?
No, dude. He looks like the girl, the duck girl interest from Chicken Little. The way he looks just makes me so mad. You know what I mean?
You're just jealous that you don't have his good looks.
I don't know. He's not very handsome.
I think
he looks like if someone like really grabbed him and then just kind of stretched him out a little bit. You know, just not my thing.
Have you seen Little Women?
No. Florence Pugh, right?
With him in it,
I saw him in
Florence Pugh
Interstellar, which
that doesn't count. He's a very small role in that.
We'll do a Christopher Nolan episode at some point, because I think he is the most overrated director of all time. Oh yeah. We'll get there.
It was nice knowing Parker. I guess we're just gonna.
Okay, cool. Do you want to start on the or fifth? I guess fifth one. We're doing 5.
Okay,
we're covering
so
5.
Number 5, a reboot that is better, or I think this is better. I don't think not only does this live up, I think it is better, and that is 2005 Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Yes. Better is hard, because it came out 72 years later. You know. I don't know. I don't know if it's better. It's hard to say which is better, because they're just so different. You know what I mean? They're just very different movies.
Yeah.
But I do love the Peter Jackson one. And have you seen the Jessica Lange one from like the 78?
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah. Okay, is that one good? I haven't seen that one.
No.
Okay.
He does. Okay, so you know in the Peter Jackson one, you know that fight that he has with the Tyrannosaurus, and he rips it open. He does the same thing in the 70s one, except it's with a giant snake.
Oh.
And it looks it's the cheap, because it's also it's a guy in a suit.
Oh.
And so the giant snake that he's wrestling is like a rubber horrible. It's so bad. It's so
I love
bad.
it. I need to get to that one. Yeah, 2005's King Kong, because there are so many King Kong movies. I mean, just a plethora of King Kong at this point. I think there are 4 officially titled ones, but then there are Son of Kong, all of the Godzilla versus Kongs.
King Kong.
Yeah, there are just so many King Kong movies. But yeah, 2005.
Kong Skull Island.
I think Kong Skull Island is an honorable mention, and I like that it's a fresher, or I should say like a fresh take on the story.
Yes, it's not trying to do the same basic King Kong storyline. It's completely its own thing, which I respect it for, but I don't think it's better than the Peter Jackson.
I wouldn't say it's better. I liked it more than I thought I would, for sure.
Yes, I did like it more than
like
I thought.
I was expecting like a 6, and I'd probably give it like a 7, maybe an 8. I'd have to rewatch it again.
I'd give it a solid 7.
It's really, it looks
it's a fun
looks
time.
really good. It's like a good looking movie.
Yeah.
And Samuel L. Jackson is great. But the 2005 King Kong, it's long, but it doesn't feel that long.
It's over 3 hours.
You know what I mean?
I would say the only time it really drags is in the first act when they're still in New York.
A little bit, just a tad.
But once they take off, that's when it really picks up. And then obviously once they get to the actual island itself, and that's another thing I love about it is how violent it is.
Oh my god, we'll get to a certain scene, but I love Jack Black in it more than I thought I would.
I know. It's so crazy that he's like, I always forget that he's in that movie, and he's so good in it.
It's really random. It's a very random thing for him to do, because I think he did. No, okay, so he did King Kong, and then was Pick of Destiny before or after? It was around the same time, I think.
I'm not sure.
He did like King Kong, Tenacious D, Nacho Libre, and The Holiday, all within like a 3-year span, I feel like.
Well, and School of Rock came out 2 years before King Kong.
2003, that's right. And then Kung Fu Panda was 2008 or something like that. It was something like that.
I'm not sure exactly.
He's doing well, but
I feel like Jack Black's casting in that movie was something that Peter Jackson wanted specifically. I feel like he didn't. I mean, I don't know this for sure. It's just I'm kind of assuming that Peter Jackson wanted Jack Black for that role, and it wasn't Jack Black auditioning for it.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
I mean, he may have had to audition for the execs, but Peter Jackson, I would agree, because it's almost like that role, even though that role is in the original, it's almost like that version of the role was written for him. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
He's great. Brody, what's his name? Something Brody. Adrian Brody is phenomenal. Obviously, have you seen The Pianist with him? Oh my God. Well, I'll pick that one for you at some point. It is sad.
I've seen Predators, and that is one of the biggest miscastings I've ever seen.
That's funny. I didn't know he was in that.
He's in a Predator movie, and he's a twig. And he plays the muscle. He plays the lead in a Predator movie, and it's like, and he's also his character. I'm not going to go too much into it because this is not that kind of episode, but his character is very unlikable in that movie.
Intentionally or no?
I don't know. I hate his character.
I like him a lot in this movie. I think he's great. I think he's a little
in this movie he's
a little stiff at times. Like they could have done more with him, but he's great. I think most of the casting is good. I think a lot of the VFX are really good.
Well, yeah, it's Peter Jackson,
and of course we have to talk about Andy Serkis, because he is
playing two roles.
He is I forget the character's name. He's like the one guy with the eye, and then he's also King Kong, which I didn't know until a while after I watched it for the first time.
Honestly, after I kind of knew who Andy Serkis was, and I knew that he had done I knew that motion capture was his thing. I remember watching King Kong and noticing that Andy Serkis was in that movie, and I was like, you know what? I'll bet $100 that he does the mocap for King Kong. And then I looked it up, and I was like, yep.
He's phenomenal. He's so great.
Yeah.
And for 2005, it looks really good.
100%. Well, dude, this, again, Peter Jackson, this is a guy that made Lord of the Rings. And keep in mind, those movies came out in the early 2000s, but they were made in the late 90s.
Yeah, they were all made together, right? Essentially. Well, I haven't seen any of those, so I wouldn't know. Yeah, that's a big one I haven't seen.
Get the fuck
Swear to God. Swear to God.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Are you serious? You've never seen Lord of the Rings?
I've not seen them.
How is that possible? How is that possible?
At this point, I kind of do it out of principle because I think it's funny. But I
No, this is not like Game of Thrones where you're like, oh no, I'm gonna go, because I'm like that. I'm gonna die never watching a single episode of Game of Thrones. Right?
Okay, now I'm gonna play Game of Thrones at your funeral. Like we're gonna stream the pilot at your funeral. I have the Lord of the Rings and the extended editions on Blu-ray because Brianna likes them.
Only watch the extendeds. Don't bother with the theatricals. You only have to watch the
even
extendeds.
For the first time. Wow, yes. That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Because it's the full story. I'm just saying, like, I don't think I've ever seen the theatricals in all honesty.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, because I have the extended trilogy on 4K.
Okay. I have the extended trilogy and the regular because Brianna really likes them. But I've still never seen them. But
Next time you're with her, marathon them.
yeah.
And that is a day right there. That is a day.
Yeah.
That's like 14 hours.
Not yeah. Well, we'll get to them.
But it's gonna be, make it a party. It's such a fun day. You know, just binging, having a Lord of the Rings day. So
you know
fun.
what? We're gonna
So
make a deal right now. You are gonna make a trip out
Okay.
here. We're gonna record an episode in real life, and we're gonna do a Lord of the Rings marathon together. Deal.
Be there next week.
Okay. See you tomorrow. But anyway, back to King Kong. It looks there's like one shot where I think or I should say maybe a scene that does not look good, and it's the scene where they're running from the dinosaurs. That scene is like the most green screen scene I've seen in my life.
That is true.
Here,
that is
play a
true.
clip
Even
of
though
it
it's a
right
pretty
now.
Fun scene. Okay.
It does not look great, but it's not super distracting, in my opinion.
Nah.
There is
Yeah.
one scene that is so hard to get through, and it's the bug scene, when it's no music, and there's so much like reverb and echoing, and you just hear like, and it's
Yes. And then the worms coming out of the
like
mud, the leeches.
uncircumcised penises come out of the ground, and it's like, and then they come out, and then they fucking like, Andy Serkis just gets mucked, dude.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, this movie is fucking brutal.
Is. I've seen some deleted scenes where I was like, holy and the scene you were talking about where that's nuts. Like, that is a brutal scene.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen the extended cut?
Ooh.
It's okay. You'll know it. The version that you've seen, is there a scene with a giant fish? Where they're crossing a river with a giant. Okay, so you've seen the extended cut. I think that's a great scene.
Oh, it's like the almost like an eel, but it's like a really long big fish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's so, there's a scene, it's so funny when they finally get to shore and they're just like, oh, we made it. And then there's one guy coming out and he's just like walking like, and then the fish just comes up, grabs him and pulls him back.
It's honestly could be a horror movie at times. It's got some really scary moments.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, so does Lord of the Rings.
I saw one scene when I was a kid of Gollum and it scared the shit out of me.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, speaking of that, like, Andy Serkis he didn't invent the technology, but he made MoCap what it is today.
He reinvented it.
Pretty much.
He
without him and Peter Jackson.
Actually, Avatar kind of reinvented it.
Avatar made it,
but he didn't even.
Avatar
do that.
Technologically made it what it is today. Andy Serkis made it okay for actors to do.
He made it so that the actor could be credited for the CGI role, basically.
And it gives for a better performance from a virtual character.
Absolutely.
I mean, same with with Groot and with like the Hulk, and I mean a lot of the MCU is MoCap. And if you really want to talk about it, Spider-Man is MoCap a lot of the time, unfortunately, in the MCU.
Yep.
It's I would say Avatar reinvented the technology, but Andy Serkis made it a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that.
King Kong 2005, great movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's awesome. Number 4. Wait, did I say the last one or did you?
I did. Your turn.
Okay. Is 2011's right? 2011's Fright Night remake starring Colin Farrell, Anton Yelchin or Yelchin?
I always said Yelchin, but it might be Yelkin.
Guy from Star Trek.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. And the mom from Hereditary, who was also the mom in this one.
Toni Collette.
Yeah, she's great. This movie.
Yes, she's great.
This remake is also
awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's also brutal.
Awesome.
It is intense.
And this is, I would say this is one that isn't necessarily better, but at least lives up to the first.
For sure. Again, it's completely different. I mean, the story is overall the same, but it's a completely different movie in tone. I mean, it's for the original is campy, and I think it was a little bit meant to be sometimes, even though it's 80s.
They're both considered horror comedies.
Yeah, but this one's more. This one's just really gross, but I like it a lot. I mean, they were able to do a lot more than they were in 1985.
And I think they definitely focused a lot more on comedy in this one than in the original, because the vampire killer, I'm blanking on his name.
Terry. No, Jerry? Jerry. It's Jerry.
No. Not the vampire.
Oh, sorry. The killer.
Peter Vincent.
Yes, Peter Vincent.
Played by David Tennant.
Oh, that's right.
Is so funny.
That's right. Well, he's also different in this one than he is in the original, because in the original he's like a TV star guy. In this one he's a magician, right? In Vegas.
He's like a Vegas show illusion guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like David, what's his name? The weird, you know what I mean? Crazy guy.
David Blaine.
Yeah, he's like him, but white and British.
He's so funny in this, though.
Yeah. He's
so funny.
Arguably the best part. He's really, I mean, Colin Farrell is incredible, and then Fogel from Superbad is in this one too for a little while. He's Evil Ed, if that's his name.
They call him Evil. Yeah, Evil Ed. They call him Evil Ed in the original, and then I think they only call him Evil Ed like once.
Yeah.
And Dave Franco's in it too.
That's right. And okay, do you watch Modern Family?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, a relevant question. Okay, you know, like his like stoner friend who like gets murdered in the car with Dave Franco. I can't tell if that's the guy from Modern Family, but if you don't watch it, it's fine. Yeah, dude, this movie is awesome.
I know he's in. Oh, it is him.
It is him. No, but
I know he's in Good Luck Charlie.
Oh, that's where I know him from. Okay, because when I watched Modern Family, I was
Teddy's
like,
biker
I know
boyfriend.
That guy. That's right. Thank you.
And Good Luck Charlie, he plays Teddy's biker boyfriend.
Got it. Thank you.
But yeah,
he's not significant in this movie. Dave Franco's a little more significant because I don't think the stoner guy comes back, but Dave Franco does.
No, but Dave Franco comes back.
That scene is terrifying, where they all come back
in the car.
in the basement.
Oh, and they're crawling out of the walls.
Yeah, dude, because that shit was not in the original, and it's scary.
No, I would say though that the original one is more scary.
Yeah, I would agree
because it's more practical, and you know, like Evil Ed's death is pretty brutal. Remember, because he's the dog, he turns into the wolf.
Oh, you mean
Peter
his
Vincent stabs him?
His actual death, not his turning into a vampire. Yeah, that's that's right, because he does turn into a werewolf, and then he.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And with the cross on his head.
Oh, from when he visits Peter Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. Mm-hmm. His like turning into a vampire, I think was, I don't know, better, but
creepy.
Or worse. And the remake is so nuts. He just goes like, oh my god, dude, this movie. Oh my god,
and it's in the pool too, and he like sinks down into the pool.
Yep, it's creepy in the original too, though, because he lures him to the alley.
Yeah. Then puts him in the trench coat.
Which one do you think is more sad? I would say the remake.
Yeah.
I think he's more likable in the remake. Well, a different kind of likable. Because he's more annoying in the first one, even though you kind of like him. But in the remake, you feel kind of bad for him because Anton Yelchin is being an asshole to him and like being a bad best friend. And so you do feel bad for him. And so when he dies, it's really sad.
I would agree. Yeah, it is, because one thing I really liked is in his death when Charlie, stabs him with the stake, before he completely turns to ash, there's a brief moment where he's just normal.
I don't remember, but
because you know how when he becomes a vampire, you can tell he's a little more monstrous.
Yeah.
Not just in his teeth, but like his eyes are, and his hair is a little more crazy. And so when he stabs him with the wooden stake, he like turns to human, because he tells Charlie, it's okay, Charlie, it's okay, as he's dying.
That's right.
And then he like becomes human for a brief second before he turns to ash. And it's like, fuck, that was actually kind of sad.
Yeah, and it's dude, and it's creepy, and he's creepy in the short moments that we see him as a vampire. I mean, he's funny as well, but he's really creepy too.
You know what was a scene that made my because okay, I don't know about you, I saw this movie when it came out.
I didn't.
Not in theaters, but when did I see it in theaters? No, I didn't see it in theaters, but I watched it right when it came out on DVD because my dad and I rented it because it wasn't long before that he showed me the original.
Got it.
And so when we found out about the reboot, we were like, fuck yeah. So we rented it, watched the reboot. And one thing that made my 11-year-old self jaw drop was when he's getting the neighbor girl out of the house. You know, when he breaks into the house for the first time.
Yes.
And he gets the neighbor girl and he like watches her get bit.
Oh,
such a good scene, by the way.
Oh, like in the soundproof area kind of closet thing. Yeah, dude.
In the closet, yeah, like the back rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, but the part that got me was when he finally got her out of the house, and as soon as she goes into the sunlight, she like just boom.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Oh,
dude,
my god.
That's right. That scene did make my jaw drop.
Yeah,
dude,
because you forget.
Yeah.
You don't realize that she's turned.
You're not thinking about it. Yeah, it's
yeah. You're thinking about it.
like, oh my god, they got out. I can't I can't believe it.
And then just boom out of nowhere.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh man.
And I don't know if you knew this. Well, I'm sure you knew this. Fuck, what's his name? Prince Humperdinck, who played Jerry in the original actor. Dude, what's the actor's name? I forget. Chris Sarandon. Gorgeous man, by the way. Incredible looking guy in the 80s, dude. Oh yeah. God. But he has that cameo in the remake where he gets fucked in the street, right? But it was his idea in the original to have him eat fruit, like a fruit bat, like a fruit, or whatever they call them. It was his idea, and I think in the remake they carried that on because Colin Farrell was always eating an apple or something, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was his idea, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, it's another scene that really stands out for me for Colin Farrell that is really good. It's at the end. The scene when Charlie's trying to get his mom and his girlfriend out of the house, and then Jerry comes into the backyard and starts digging in the backyard, and then he grabs the pipeline and then, lights it, and then the house, the oven blows up and the house catches on fire, and then Jerry just walks up to the window and he's like, don't need an invitation if there's no house. And I was like, fuck,
yeah, dude,
fuck, that was good.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, when they're driving and he's like underneath the car and his fucking, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Dude.
And he's like, those are fucked up vampire hands.
Yeah. Dude, okay, and the shot. No, go ahead.
I was just saying that car scene too, just the scene when they're in the back, when the girlfriend is in the back of the car, and in the background you can see behind her just the motorcycle get thrown into the back.
Yeah. Dude, it's first of all, it's a good looking movie for 2011.
Yeah.
I mean, like that time was hit or miss for CG, and it's a good looking movie. And like the shot, it's obviously mostly CG, but it looks fantastic when after he demolishes Chris Sarandon in the street, his little cameo, and he's like kind of going back more into human form and his teeth are going back to dude, so scary. It looks fucking awesome. It looks so good.
Yeah. I love when he does, when you said Chris Sarandon, is how you say it?
Yeah. Yeah.
When he crashes into them and he gets out of the car and he's like, what are you doing? You're in the middle of the road. You got a tail light out. And then when Colin Farrell's Jerry stands up with the car still on his shoulders and then just like brushes it off. It's so good.
It kind of resembles that scene in Us where the little girl is standing on top of the car and she's about to kill the good girl, and the guy comes in and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Get off my car!
Get off my car!
Dude, that scene is so fucking funny. He's like, come here. Get your ass off the car. Dude, that scene is so funny. Yeah, honestly, we could do a full episode on both Fright Nights, to be honest.
I think so too.
They're really great.
Yeah.
Go ahead with number 3.
Okay. Number 3 is a classic, and that is Steven Spielberg's Hook.
Ooh, dude. I'm gonna say something. I would say it's both Steven Spielberg's and John Williams, both of their most underrated work.
Yes.
Because that movie was not well received when it came out.
Really?
To my knowledge, yeah. It did not do well. People didn't like it. And I love that movie. I grew up with that movie. It's fantastic.
Yes, same. I've always loved it. I honestly don't.
I'm be reeling right now.
I don't remember the first time I watched it because I was so young, but I've always loved it. I've always loved it.
It's so good. It is so good. John Williams, I mean, it might be my favorite John Williams score. Considering I'm not a huge Star Wars fanatic, that score is so good.
Okay. You've seen Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Anakin and Padme's love theme is very similar to the Hook theme.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Very similar.
That's really funny.
Yeah, listen to them. I'll tell you.
Send it to me. Yeah, give me a link.
I'll send it to you. The score itself is called, I think it's called Under the Stars. Across the Stars.
Got it.
On Attack of the Clones. And it is very similar to Hook.
With John Williams, I think you could find a few pieces from different movies that are very similar, but it's just like, you know what? He is 90 years old, and he has done some of the most iconic and important film music ever, and so much of it.
Yeah,
he's done so much. So it's,
this is the guy that's behind Jaws, which is one of the most recognizable theme songs ever. 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I didn't know he did that one.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So oh my God. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, that's two right off the bat that, like, you may not know what they're from, but there's no way in hell you haven't heard them.
Yeah.
You know,
even if you haven't seen Jaws, that is like the universal language for something is coming. For something is coming. You know what I mean? In film, television, whatever.
Mm-hmm, and then something epic. Bum,
2001.
Bum, 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 bum,
dude, yeah.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, dude. And then Superman, 1978.
Superman. Yep. And they keep reusing it.
Of course. I mean,
they keep
now
reusing it.
They keep using it now. It was in Super Pets.
It was
Harry
in Black
Potter.
Adam.
It wasn't. Oh, that's right. It wasn't Black
Adam. And I would have preferred if they used Hans Zimmer's Man of Steel.
Absolutely agree. Different conversation because I'm gonna get pissed.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, maybe not as recognizable, but still pretty fucking huge.
Actually, that's another one. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets and Attack of the Clones used the same clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was doing them both at the same time, and his guy that he kind of helps him out, something got swapped. So there is Attack of the Clones music in the Quidditch chase, I believe, in Chamber of Secrets. And then what else? I mean, Indiana Jones, huge.
Yep, I'm very excited for Indiana Jones 5. I'm thinking
Star Wars, which we kind of covered, but he's done Star Wars.
Should we go back to talking about Hook? Or
yeah. That's right.
I just totally turned it passive aggressive. Like, hey, maybe we should stay on task.
Yeah, we're both sluts for John Williams, so there's gonna be a lot of John Williams talk on this podcast.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to making a top 10 best movie scores.
We should do a top 10 John Williams score episode for sure. Honestly. But yeah, I would say it's John Williams' most underrated work that I can think of. Because I would say I shouldn't say everything else, but most of what he does is pretty high regarded by most people, even if they don't know it's him. You know what I mean? Right. Same with Steven Spielberg. Most Steven Spielberg movies everyone loves them, even if they don't know it's Steven Spielberg. It's could go, oh yeah.
But also, Steven Spielberg is one of those names where sometimes the name is going to be bigger, like his name is going to be bigger than the movie name.
Of course. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like on a book.
I would say the same for his new movie, The Fabelmans.
The Fabelmans. I'm so excited to see that movie.
My
So
AMC
excited.
isn't fucking playing it. I'm pissed.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know. They're still playing Black Adam. Couldn't tell you why. Yeah, dude. Mid Adam. I don't say mid, but it's Mid Adam, dude. Fuck you, The Rock. I can make a better movie. Not really. It was okay. I liked it, but I don't want to talk about it right now. I'm gonna get mad. Yeah, Steven Spielberg is phenomenal. Robin Williams as
Rest in
adult
peace,
Peter Pan, dude.
Dustin Hoffman as Hook.
Oh my god, one of the best casting choices in the history of film ever. I know. It is so incredible. And I forget his name, but Rufio, who was also in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and does a ton of voice work.
Rufio. Oh, and then Robin Williams is like, oh, that is so dangerous.
Yeah. Dude. Rufio, the actor, has a TikTok, and he does like a weekly video of like a residual like check thing, and he'll go, okay, how much what can I get for dinner with this residual check? And it's either like Taco Bell or Red Lobster, and the Hook ones are always good, of course. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, it shouldn't go from Taco Bell to Red Lobster. It should go imagination, like that scene in Hook when they use their imagination to eat, which I've always loved that scene.
That food always looks so good.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
The blue cream stuff, whatever the fuck that is, I want to eat it.
I don't know.
Oh my God. If you could describe Hook in one word, it's magical, I'd say.
Dude, I was literally gonna say that.
It's so good. And I mean, fuck, what's her name from Pretty Woman? Jessica
Roberts.
Jessica.
That doesn't sound right.
That's
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts. Thank you. We were so close.
We both paused and it's like, that's not it.
Yeah, you said that. I was like, oh.
You know, no. I just found out that Julia Roberts is Emma Roberts' aunt.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm. I just found out.
Holy shit. That's
like
insane.
Today.
That's crazy. But she as Tinkerbell is great, I think.
It was weird that she was talking, but it was cool that she was talking.
Yes, and dude, like the scene where she becomes big for a minute and they kiss, such a special moment. Dude, Robin Williams cheats on his wife a lot in this movie. He's messing with those mermaids. He makes out with 3 of them. The mermaids give him
oxygen.
Sure. Okay. Okay.
And they definitely give him a lot of blood flow, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they do. But I mean, she's phenomenal. Dustin Hoffman is phenomenal. The kids are great. The daughter, I think, is still acting. The son, I think, stopped acting. If I'm not mistaken.
I'm not gonna know.
My favorite is the chubby kid. I forget his name. The last boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the scene where he hands Robin the marbles.
Yes.
And he goes, Toodles, he lost his he found his marbles or whatever. I tear up every time.
Is that when you find out that he was a lost boy? Or was that something that we always knew?
To be honest, I don't know, because I've seen it so many times. I don't know.
I know, but I think that might be the moment you find out that he was a lost boy.
I think you're right. But since I've seen it so many times since I was a kid, I wouldn't know. But I would assume so. The shot, the opening shot where we meet Toodles, and they knock at the door, and he goes, "It's snowing!" and then he shuts the door. Dude, it's so fucking. And we haven't even talked about McGonagall as Granny Wendy, because she's been old for 70 years.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. And when she I rewatched it recently, like about a year ago, and she kind of flirts with Peter, and there's like a point where she's like trying to fuck him. For sure.
Well, when she greets him, she's at the top of the stairs. Hello, boy.
Dude. Oh my God. And he's like, he looks up and there's an erection there for sure.
He's like, hello, Wendy. And then what's her daughter's name? Is Jane?
I think it's Moira.
Moira.
Didn't she name her after her middle name, right? Yeah.
Something, but she's just standing there like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. And dude, the end when they give Toodles his marbles and a little bit of fairy dust and he flies away, dude.
Yeah.
Is this movie is oh my god.
You know
I
what?
love Hook.
Going back to the big kid that we were talking about that
Yes.
had his marbles. I want to say a scene that always kind of gets me a little bit is when Peter gives him the sword at the end of the movie
Oh my
to be in charge of the
God.
Lost Boys.
Oh my
So
God.
good.
Oh my
So
God.
good. Oh my gosh. Just the look on his face when he takes it. And it's such a heartwarming scene. Such a heartwarming movie. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
Literally. That
It's
one
so
and then
fucking good.
we are absolutely going to do an episode on Hook. But the
Yeah.
last specific thing I'll talk about is when the I think like the youngest kid, the little black kid, the cutest kid in the world,
Yeah.
pushes Robin's face back and he goes, "Oh, there you are, Peter." Oh my God, dude. It makes
well, it's
me
because he makes him smile.
I know.
It's because he does the thing to make him smile. And he's like,
Oh my
oh, there you are, Peter.
Oh my God. And
So fucking good, dude.
I'm going to cry. How did people not like that movie?
I don't know. Because it's different. It's so different. It's not the base. You know, people were probably like, Steven Spielberg directing a Peter Pan movie? Hell yeah. And then it wasn't the Peter Pan movie that everyone was expecting.
That's true. I would honestly like to see him maybe do the actual story. You know, but I mean, now that Hook's done.
Here's another honorable mention, and it's the 2003 Peter Pan movie.
Yeah, baby.
With
I don't fucking know his name.
As Hook and Mr. Darling.
Oh, Lucius.
Yeah, but what's his name? It's like Isaac something.
I have no idea, but he's in Harry Potter as Malfoy's dad.
As Lucius Malfoy.
And he's also. Have you seen
Jason
the Tuxedo?
Isaacs.
Have you seen the Tuxedo
Jason
with
Isaacs.
Jackie Chan?
Mm-mm.
Where Jackie Chan like finds this. So the guy who plays Captain Hook and Malfoy, he's like this spy, and he dies, and then Jackie Chan takes over for him, and he has this like electronic tuxedo that makes him like into James Brown. Super weird movie. Super weird movie. But anyway, super random. We need to stop talking about Hook.
Well, I just want to say the 2003 Peter Pan movie is, I think that is a great straight up live action adaptation. And so they're we're not going to talk about the 2015 Pan movie. Have you seen
I did
that?
not see it. It looked like
terrible.
shit. It looked like shit.
Awful.
I mean, I love Hugh Jackman, but no thank you.
He wasn't even good. Disney's rebooting it again, called like Peter Pan and Wendy, I think.
Disney's rebooting something? That's weird.
And I really don't care for it because it's like, if I want to watch a Peter Pan reboot, I'm either going to watch Hook or the 2003 Peter Pan movie, which I think is really underrated.
It is. It's got some flaws, but it is great. And I do like, they couldn't really do it in Hook because Robin plays the dad and he's also Peter Pan, but in the stage production, the father always plays Captain Hook. And so I like that they did that in the movie as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's great. The score, we were talking about it before we were recording, is
the score is so good.
So fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep.
We may do an episode on that one. I don't know if it's quite deserving enough, but it'll be talked about again for sure. Number 2 is
Your turn. Or is it my turn?
I guess
Your turn.
My turn. Specifically Rise of the Planet of the Apes, but the trilogy in general. But I think we should just talk about Rise.
Okay.
I think it is the remake, I'd say. And before today, I didn't know that it was a remake. I thought it was a prequel. But
well, actually, when Rise of the Planets first came out,
mm-hmm.
I thought it was a prequel to the Tim Burton one.
Oh, I forgot. That's
with
right.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, haven't seen it, but I don't want to.
Nah, don't waste your time.
Yeah.
I honestly thought it was a prequel to that, and I was like, holy shit, this is so much better. And then it wasn't until Dawn came out that I realized, oh, this is a complete reboot.
Got it. Because again, you would know more because you've seen the originals, or at least a couple of them. I haven't, you know.
Yeah.
But Rise.
Well, you've seen the first.
The first, yes.
Yeah.
But Rise is. I know that we disagree on this. Not that you don't like Rise. I know you love Rise, but
I love all three. Yeah.
I think Rise is my favorite.
Respectable.
And it is. Oh my God! It is so fucking good. I mean,
that
like James Franco is likable, and that's rare. You know, it's really,
honestly, that kind of surprises me that War isn't your favorite, because War is my favorite, and I
War is
just
the last
knowing
one,
you,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just kind of I guess I would just assume that War would have been your favorite.
I love them all. I really do like them all.
Yeah, to me personally, that is a trilogy that gets better. Like Rise is your favorite, Rise is my least favorite, but I still love it. Love it. It's my least favorite.
Yeah, which I mean, it's the other two feel more cohesive. One, because it's the same director doing both of them, but also because they almost feel like a part 1 and 2, give or take.
Yeah, kind of.
And Rise feels like a not disconnected, but it's a different director. Came out a little earlier.
Rise is very much its own thing because Rise is pre-apocalypse.
Yes.
And then the next two are post-apocalypse.
Yeah, they're it's a pretty big time jump. It's a couple years.
It's like Rise and Dawn have an 8-year.
8 years.
Yeah,
that's right.
I don't know about War. I'm pretty sure War is only like a year or two, because Cornelius is born in the first one and he's still a baby, or born in Dawn, but he's still a baby in War.
That's right. I watched before this year. I'd only seen Rise, and that was like when it came out, so I was 9, I think. So I rewatched the trilogy, or I rewatched the first one, then watched the second and third for the first time. Great. It is a really sad trilogy, to be honest.
It's a drama trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, the apes are treated so horribly. I mean, especially in the first one, because there's no ground for them to fight on, I guess, if that makes sense. But like, I mean, they're mean to those apes, which is tough. And I have to remind myself, like, this is a computer generated image. This is not a documentary, you know.
But this is another movie, because this is Andy Serkis.
Yep.
And so this is another movie where it just proves that people that do motion capture need to be credited.
Oh yeah, I mean,
the emotion.
Most of the apes are motion capture. Most of them. Most of like them. I mean, any of the character ones are MoCap.
Yeah, and a woman plays Maurice in all 3 of them.
I didn't know that, or at least I don't think I knew that. That's interesting.
The same. I don't know her name. Oh, you know what? In Rise of the Planet of the Apes, the scene when he's talking to the woman at the counter about getting Caesar back, and she's like, 90 days, sir. You're lucky they didn't put that animal down. Then she closes the window on him. That's her. She does the motion capture for Maurice in all 3 movies.
That's very cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
We will definitely do a deep dive on these ones, but the CG is incredible.
And it gets better, obviously, because time goes on. But
yeah. And I think that was like one of the first, if not the first, Rise movie to do mocap not on a soundstage, if I'm not mistaken, because they did mocap outside.
I don't know. No, Lord of the Rings did.
They did it outside.
I'm fairly
not on a soundstage. Okay, I could be wrong.
I think there were a couple scenes with Gollum outside where it was motion capture outside. I could be wrong.
We'll look into it. We'll look into it. But we'll definitely do an episode at least on the trilogy, but we'll probably go through the entire trilogy. Just so everyone knows, my girlfriend Brianna told me she was finally listening to our podcast, and first of all, she listens to it on ×2. I guess she wants to get it over with quickly. But she was saying that you and I mumble a lot, and I was like, no way, there's no way. So if anyone agrees, feel free to message us. If you want to get blocked, feel free to message us and say that we mumble. But I don't think we mumble. I don't know. Maybe we. Maybe. All right. Last but not least is a great remake. Not my favorite, but I've only seen it once. So
it is my personal favorite reboot, and I fought Parker to put this at the top.
I wasn't arguing about it, but it wasn't I wouldn't put it at the top.
Okay. What would you say is your personal favorite reboot?
If either Evil Dead or Hook, just because I mean Hook is, but that's more of a nostalgia thing, and I've only seen The Thing once, and that was this year. So
so you just spoiled what it was.
What? Oh,
You-
fuck!
It's The Thing. John Carpenter. I mean, it's pretty obvious because it's my background. We haven't even talked about it yet.
Yeah, but for the rest of you who are listening, it's The Thing. Sorry.
It's The
I didn't
Thing.
even think,
John
I'm
Carpenter's
sorry.
1982 The Thing.
That was going to be a big reveal. Sorry, guys.
Another reason why I fought to put this up at the number 1 is because honestly, look up any top 10 reboots of all time, and it's the top one.
Yeah, it's great. It is great.
I personally, I think it is a flawless movie. I think it is one of the only horror movies where the characters are not stupid.
Yeah.
And they actually make really smart decisions. And
Yeah.
the original one is nothing like this.
No, I mean it's kind of the same overall story, but it ends up being pretty different. And I'd say it's good. I don't know if I'd ever watch it again.
It's good. I think the only time I'm gonna rewatch it is when I'm like showing it to my kids.
Yeah.
Before I show them this one.
It would be cool to do them all 3 in a day because I haven't seen the 2011 one. I haven't seen that one.
It's okay.
Yeah.
The original one from the 50s is called The Thing from Another World.
Correct.
And it is so for those of you that have seen the John Carpenter one, you obviously know that the alien is a shapeshifter alien, and it doesn't even have a true form. You know, they explain it in the movie that every cell is its own organism. You know, and so you literally, like, a drop of blood is its own organism and could infect someone.
Mm-hmm.
Or what in the movie they say assimilate. They could assimilate someone. You know, assimilation in process, assimilation complete. The original one, it's the same basic story of them finding a frozen alien in the ice that's been there for like millions of years, and they bring it out, it thaws out, and then it kills it goes on a rampage. But the alien in the original one is basically Frankenstein.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically alien Frankenstein. I mean, they still use I'm pretty sure they still use flamethrowers.
I think you're right. It's been a second since I've seen it, but I think you're right.
Yeah.
And the original is not bad.
No, not at all.
For a 50s movie, it's fine. I mean, most movies at the time are slower paced, but it's a little on the too slow side occasionally.
You know what? You know
mean?
what scene is really good though in the original one? When they open the door and it's right there, and then he like swings at them.
Yes.
You remember that? It's like the most iconic scene of the movie.
Yeah, and I don't think it's necessary viewing for the John Carpenter one.
No, it's not.
But it is cool to see. It is a cool thing to see. And it also go ahead.
Well, I watched the John Carpenter one first.
I don't know if I did or not. I don't remember. I think I saw the original first.
Honestly, the only reason I did watch the original is because I was at my uncle's house, and he's really into black and white movies, and so he showed it to me while I was there, and I was like, all right,
that's
because
cool.
I told him that I had just watched this one, the John Carpenter one. I was telling him how much I loved it, and he's like, oh, have you seen the original? And I was like, no, and he's like, oh, well, we gotta watch the original.
Yeah, I think it's, if you are a fan of the Thing of 82, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you're a fan of the 82 The Thing, I would watch the original. It's fun to see, why, where it came from, and also a fun thing involving these movies. In Halloween 1978, at the when Laurie is babysitting the kids, they are watching The Thing from Another World. And then in the newest Halloween movie, which is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, when the kids being babysat, he's watching John Carpenter's The Thing. So in 30 years, when we see Halloween re-ends, they'll be watching the 2011 The Thing, hopefully.
Actually, I guess this is also kind of a movie news, but this was announced a while ago, but Blumhouse Productions, is that they got greenlit, and they're doing The Thing reboot. Not a prequel, wow. Not a prequel, not a sequel. It is a reboot. Here's the only reason I am okay with it. Any other day, I'd be fully against it. Like, I'm not going to watch it. I'd be protesting it. There is only one reason I'm okay with it. The Thing from Another World and this movie are both based on a short story called Who Goes There.
Oh, interesting.
And it was just recently, like very recently, discovered that the short story Who Goes There is the shortened version of a full story called Frozen Hell. And so the reboot is going to be based on that full story called Frozen Hell.
Wow.
So
I had no idea.
That is the only reason I'm okay with it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm excited to watch it. I would love to see The Thing in theaters. I would love a theater. Honestly, I think theater experiences are underrated because my uncle is always like, he loves movies, but he's always like, it's just expensive, and I'd rather just watch it at home and be able to pause it and go to the bathroom. I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. But the theater experience for, I would say, any movie is probably going to be better than your home experience for most movies.
The only time I draw the line, the only time I would say that watching it at home is better than in the theater is if it's a horror movie that's like a home horror movie.
Yeah,
agree. Like when The Conjuring 3 came out, it was HBO Max and in theaters, and I watched it on HBO Max.
Yeah,
because I'm like, I don't want to watch a scary movie that takes place in a house in the theater. I want to watch it in a house where it's scary.
Yeah,
with all the lights off.
Nope, I saw in the theater. And
that is 100%
in IMAX,
a theater. Yep, that is a theater experience.
And I was alone with like maybe 5 other people in the theater, but I went by myself, and it was still one of the best experiences I've had in the theater. And I watched it at home as well. Still a great movie, but the experience just was not there because it was shot in IMAX. It looked incredible in IMAX, and it was phenomenal to see in theaters for the first time.
Ironically, it's a great horror movie to watch in the theater. A Quiet Place, both of them.
I've only seen the first one, and it was at home. So
I watched both of them in the theater, and for some reason, like watching them in the theater, I feel like was so much better because, yes, like you're watching it with a lot of people, but it's like everyone at that specific movie knows the movie that they're watching, and it's like dead silent the entire time. Like you don't even hear popcorn or drinks or like candy wrappers. Like everyone knows to be quiet during this movie.
Yeah. That was kind of how it was for Barbarian. There weren't a ton of people there. There was an old couple next to me, which was really funny. But like there was just like a collective, what the fuck, when we were watching Barbarian. And it's there's something special about the theater, and unfortunately streaming and I would say Disney are at fault for theaters almost running out of business a lot of the times, and like not many people supporting the theaters unless it's a Marvel movie at this point. You know what I mean?
The movie industry is slowly monopolizing.
Yeah, which is sad because most movies made by streaming services suck. I was like 95% of them are fucking bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, The Kissing Booth has a trilogy. Okay. If that movie came out in theaters, dude, we would never hear about it ever again. But because it's a Netflix movie and 12-year-old girls exist, it's now going to have a 4th one coming out.
That's why it's like I'm watching these movies and I'm like, these are so bad. I know for a fact I could make a better movie.
Oh yeah, if you had budget and actors, dude, fucking flat out.
Honestly, give me $10,000. I will make the best movie Netflix has ever seen.
I don't know, dude. They've made a couple really great ones. I'm trying to think. Oh, we should do a top 10 streaming movies list.
Oh,
that would be a fun
episode.
I'm gonna write that down. Anyway, we've gotten so off topic, but The Thing, 1982, great remake.
It's fucking amazing. It is my all-time favorite horror movie. You would know that if you listen to our top 10 favorite horror movies of all time episode. Yeah, it is my favorite horror movie of all time.
It's good. It's really good.
The prequel is worth a watch if you love the John Carpenter one.
Got it.
If you've seen the John Carpenter one and you're like, yeah, it's pretty good, then you don't need to watch the prequel. But if you are a fan of the original of the John Carpenter one, then definitely watch the prequel. It's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah. Well, I did want to talk about what you said for a second, that the characters are not dumb. And that is huge for scary movies because for most horror movies to work, which I think most people have just accepted this, but for most horror movies to work, the characters have to be fucking dumb. They have to at least make bad decisions. At least. I love that about this movie, and I also love that the end is not necessarily up to interpretation, but you don't really know fully what's going on.
I know.
Or what happens.
I know.
You know?
Even, honestly, like, take the Alien franchise. That movie relies on the characters being stupid.
Yeah. Even though they're not dumb, they don't make great decisions.
Think about it, though. Any problem with a xenomorph would be, like, you wouldn't even have to worry about it if you didn't look face down into the egg. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do is you don't look face down into the egg when it opens up. Why the fuck would you do that in the first place? I am running the other way as soon as it goes. I am sprinting, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that franchise relies on the stupidity of humanity. Yeah. Is, you know, someone seeing the flower egg open up and go like, oh, what's in there?
Anyway, we're trying to keep this one as one part, so thank you guys. What are your favorites? What are your favorite remakes and reboots and least favorites? You know, for some honorable mentions for the next episode.
You know what? I want to say one more thing. I want to say one reboot that we need, and the fact that we haven't gotten it yet pisses me off a little bit. And I'm like wondering, how the fuck do we not have it yet? But one reboot that we absolutely need, and you're going to agree with me. I know you're going to agree with me. Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
We need that.
I was going to ask you earlier, but we got off topic. Who would you want to direct the new thing? The Thing, yeah.
It's basic, but in all honesty, fuck, I think Jordan Peele would be amazing.
That's exactly who I was going to say. That is exactly same with honestly with Creature from the Black Lagoon. I think he could do a great job with.
Mm-hmm. You know, now that I think about it, I think probably the only reason we don't have a Creature from the Black Lagoon reboot is because it'd be really hard to make it scary.
Give or take.
Something like that isn't that scary. Nice. Is that a waxwork?
Yeah.
Nice.
It just spins on the record.
Yeah.
It's great.
A turntable top.
Yeah, I would agree for sure. Jordan Peele. And if you have seen Deliverance, you haven't, right?
Mm-mm.
I'll pick it for you at some point. I would love for him to do a remake for that. But
okay,
I'm out of time in here, so we're gonna end this before I can't record anymore.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for listening. Check out our socials on TikTok and Instagram.
Yep.
We'll tag it at the end of this.
Yep.
And love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Thanks for listening.